So here is FB, Meta Platforms, formerly Facebook. This finishes at $238 today. That is down 26.39%. Please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. So here is AMZN, Amazon. So this finished at $2,777, which was down 7.81% today. But right now in the aftermarket, earnings just came out, and this is up to $3,200. So it seemed like everyone expected Amazon to tank because of what we've been seeing lately from Netflix and Facebook and everything else. But nope, Amazon had really good earnings here. So let's check it out. EPS was $27.75, which beat the estimate of $3.89. So huge earnings beat there on the EPS. And sales were $137.4 billion. The estimate was $137.6 billion, so it did miss on revenue, but just barely. So huge EPS beat and very small revenue miss. But overall, the market really likes that, and Amazon is mooning right now. We also do have some news. Amazon Prime is going from $119 to $139 per year, which I'm sure the Prime members are not too happy about, but, you know, inflation, and Prime Video is getting better, so I guess you can justify that. But yeah, really good earnings. It's up about 18% right now in the aftermarket, so very good for Amazon. So let's go ahead and analyze here. So we did have a gap down at $29.76, which was a bullish indicator because that means that this stock should come back up to $29.76 to fill that gap, and it already did here in the aftermarket. But if its aftermarket price holds, and it should, it's going to create a new gap at around $28.85. So that would be a bearish indicator that is telling us this stock should come back down to $28.85 to fill this gap. So one gap filled and another created. So it looks like a new gap is going to be formed at $28.85, bearish indicator. And if you guys want to follow along, the link to the chart is in the description down below. So right now this is trading between the sideways channel, the rectangle of 27.90 and 27.65. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 27.90, 28.15, 28.50, 28.80, 29.05, 29.50, 29.75, 3,005, 3,035, 3,050, 3,075, 3,100, 3,120, 3135, 3160, 3190, and then 3225. There is resistance above 3235, but we're not going to discuss that right now. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 2765, 2695, 2530, 2460, 2375, 2255, 2190, 2135, 2085, 2040, 2010, and then 1965. There is support below 1965, but we're not going to discuss that right now. So right now at this current price, 27.65, the channels to the upside are pretty decently sized, so expect a regular amount of price action if this runs to the upside. However, to the downside, the channels are really wide, so expect a significant increase in price action if this runs to the downside. This can go really bad really fast if this keeps going down, although unlikely. RSI is currently at 32, and again, this is before the aftermarket action. Keep that in mind, guys. So not quite oversold and undervalued, but pretty much there. So this could be a good buying opportunity, not financial advice. And this did 11 million in volume today, way above average, biggest volume day of the year. So this sell-off and pump in the aftermarket is confirmed by the volume. Okay, guys, just my opinion, not financial advice. So this is Amazon. Everyone has it. Great blue chip stock. There's not too much to go off of other than the gaps and the aftermarket action. So I do think this will continue to run to the upside tomorrow. But like I said, this will create a gap up at 28.85. So that'd be a bearish indicator. So if you want to go long, not financial advice, I would hold off. I would not FOMO in right now. I know it's mooning, but just resist the urge. If you're a little patient, this should come back down to 28.85 to fill that gap. And I think that would be an excellent entry. And if it pulls back below 28.85, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before. So I would support going long at 28.85 and lower. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. Again, this should pull back to 28.85, so you should be able to make 10%. But honestly, I think that's just way too risky. That's not too much money, and you really don't want to short a blue chip value stock like this. I would say going short here would be a medium risk, low reward play. It's not a terrible play, but I just don't think it's really worth it. Not too much money to be made, and you would be exposing yourself to a good amount of upside risk. So I'm not going to say don't do it. I just don't think it's the greatest idea. But if you do decide to go short here, I would say please cover at 28.85 where the gap is. This is not really one you want to hold for that long on the short side. So I think this one is pretty straightforward, guys. Great earnings, but I do think it's going to pull back a little bit here. And I encourage you guys to hold off a little bit, and you should be able to get this at 28.85. And I don't really see a reason to short this, but if you do want to do that, please cover at 28.85. So congratulations to everyone who made money on the stock today, and good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is AMZN, Amazon. So here is FB, Meta Platforms, formerly Facebook. This finishes at $238 today. That is down 26.39%. Good. So I believe this is the first time we are ever going to analyze Facebook/Meta. This was number 1 on StockTwits today. And that is because it had earnings yesterday. So let's check out the earnings here. So EPS was $3.67, which missed the estimate of $3.82. And revenue was $33.67 billion, which beat the estimate of $33.44 billion. So EPS missed, and it beat on revenue. So actually, honestly, that's not too bad. Don't really feel like those earnings should justify the sell-off. But in addition to that, we do have a lot of price downgrades. Let's check that out. MKM Partners downgrades to 365. Bernstein downgrades to 350. Oppenheimer downgrades to 375. And I believe there were a lot more price downgrades as well from other hedge funds. But those are the only ones I see on the newsfeed here. So earnings weren't terrible, but the market didn't like it. And hedge funds pulling their money right now. Although they are still pretty bullish. They all believe it's worth $300 to $400. So yeah. Okay earnings, but hedge funds pulling their money, and stock is down 26.4%. Very nasty. So let's go ahead and analyze now. So we do have a gap down at 316. So that's a bullish indicator that is telling us this stock should eventually come back up to 316 to fill that gap. And in the aftermarket here, this is going up to 242. So that's a bullish indicator for tomorrow. That is telling us tomorrow the stock will probably recover to the upside. And if you guys want to follow along, the link to the chart is in the description down below. So right now this is trading between the sideways channel, the rectangle of 241 and 231. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 241, 248, 251, 255, 258, 260, 262, 266, 269, 271, 274, 278, 281, 284, 287, 290, 294, 296, 298, and then 301. There is resistance above 301, but we're not going to discuss that right now. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 231, 224, 218, 213, 207, and then 200. There is support below 200, but we're not going to discuss that right now. So right now at this current price, 238, the channels to the upside are pretty decently sized, so expect a regular amount of price action if this continues to run to the upside. However, to the downside, the channels are really wide, so expect a significant increase in price action if this continues to run to the downside. RSI is currently at 25, so that is oversold and undervalued, so this could be a good buying opportunity. Not financial advice. And this did 187 million in volume today. Very significant volume. Biggest volume day in 3 years. So this sell-off today was confirmed by the volume. Okay, guys, just my opinion. Not financial advice. I think this one is pretty straightforward. I think this is an excellent buying opportunity. Again, a lot of bullish indicators. Huge gap down. Low RSI. Aftermarket action. And all of the hedge funds do think this should be in the $300 range. A lot of bullish things going for this stock. No bearish indicators and no neutral indicators. So this does appear to be an excellent buy in my opinion. A lot of upside potential and not too much more downside potential. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, I can't support going long at this current price, 238 and lower. If it pulls back below 238, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before. But yeah, this should at least come back up to 316 to fill this gap, and that would be over a 30% upside. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. Again, a lot of bullish indicators, no bearish indicators, a lot of upside potential, and not too much downside potential. You should have went short before this dumped off from 300. Here at 240, I think it's just way too late. You missed your chance, and there's really no reason to short this at this point. I think going short here would be a high risk, low reward play. Missed their chance, and at this point, it's just way too dangerous going short. Don't think it's too smart. So I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. Please don't short this one, guys. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Looks like a good buy, and not a smart short here. So sorry to everyone who lost money in the stock today, but like I said, looks like a really good buying opportunity. And good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is FB Meta Platforms. Thanks everyone for watching today. I appreciate you guys. Please like the video. Please subscribe and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. You apes already know. Diamond hands to the moon. I'm Ty. This is Smarter Gambling. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.